everyone, it's Megan of Fantastic Fertility. I'm a certified fertility awareness educator, and today we're talking about the review of this menstrual disc by June Cup. Now, this is not a menstrual cup. This is different. A menstrual disc is also made of medical grade silicone, but the difference is how it actually sits inside of the vaginal canal. So a menstrual cup would be inserted with a certain type of a fold to get it to fit, but then once it's inside of you, it actually is staying in there via suction. The difference with a disc is that it's actually tucked behind your pubic bone, and it's not staying in via suction, it's staying in just by nature of being tucked into place. And I was surprised to find that it actually does stay in place, in my experience, better than a menstrual cup. And I'm here to tell you that I actually love this. And for me, that's a huge deal because I have always hated or tolerated internal period products. And when I say that, I mean, when I was younger, I would rather just not go swimming at all than wear a tampon. I hated tampons. To this day, I can't understand how people tolerate them physically. I feel like they're so uncomfortable. I don't like them personally. So I tried a menstrual cup when I go swimming because I usually go swimming a few times a week. And the cup, again, was also from June Cup. I got the mini version of the cup. And again, it was fine. It was tolerable. I liked it. It was fine, but I was not going to ever wear it unless it was specifically for just maybe 20 minutes to an hour to go for a dip in the therapy pool. However, this disc, I have now found to be life-changing. I'm very excited to use it in my next cycle. And what's funny is I actually have had this in my basement for probably over a year. I forgot that I even had bought it, which I feel silly admitting because I'm usually very much on top of that kind of stuff. But what happened was I got this. This is its little pouch that it comes in, by the way, so it just fits in here for storage. But I got this probably, like I said, over a year ago, and I meant to compare it and to try it out. But then life happened. I must have gotten overwhelmed with other stuff. I literally forgot that I had it until a couple weeks ago when a client asked what my thoughts were on soft discs, flex soft discs. Those are like a disposable version of a menstrual disc. I was like, well, why buy something disposable just to kind of add to a landfill and add to more waste when you can get something that's reusable? And that's when I realized. I looked this up and I was like, this is familiar to me. I feel like I already have this. So I came downstairs, I looked around, I saw this sitting in a basket, and I was like, do I already have this? So apparently I have memory problems maybe, but because I don't know how I forgot that. But long story short, I used this my last period, and it has honestly made me very excited to use reusable discs. I have always been, for years and years, I've loved cloth pads, I've loved period underwear, and what I've found though is a challenge with those two things lately is as an adult, you don't stay the same all the time in terms of your body composition. So over the past few years, I've gained weight, I've lost weight, I've gained weight, my body composition has kind of shifted, and I also have come to develop sensory issues as well. So for me, even when I'm at home, I hate to wear clothing. I am a naturist whenever I'm at home. I don't wear clothing as much as humanly possible because it's so uncomfortable a lot of the time. I don't like the sensations of it against my skin. And although I love cloth pads because they're, again, not an internal product, so it wasn't bothering me in that way, I was feeling for the past couple years that even having to wear period underwear, especially after I gained a little bit of weight, it was starting to be uncomfortable. The period underwear by Madi Body, if you've seen my other review comparing Madi Body period underwear to booty wear underwear for periods, the Madi Body stuff, the lace was itchy, it was just too tight, it was too snug, it was cutting into me, and this made me realize, like, a huge downside of period underwear is, like, if your body changes, you might not fit into it anymore. And I was realizing, like, whoa, I don't like that at all. And so I realized between just not feeling as comfortable in it and I still like pads, like, against my vulva, but I don't like having to wear the underwear to keep the pads in place. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll try this. And this, finally, what's incredible about it is I truly cannot feel it inside of me, which again is a huge difference. Even with menstrual cups, even with the mini menstrual cup that I also have from June, I could still feel it inside me. It would kind of get out of place after a few hours. If I would sit down, it would get kind of out of place. And again, I just tolerated it, but I did not really like using them. What I've found with this, though, is when I tried it for the cycle, it actually stays in place very well. On day 1 of my cycle, when I have the heaviest bleeding, I was wearing it for probably too long without emptying it. I was probably wearing it for like 5 hours straight on my heaviest day without emptying it. And I sneezed and it would like kind of get out of place. And so very simple, you know, it just meant that I need to empty it a little bit earlier and then put it back into place. So again, truly like not a big deal at all. But after wearing this for like several days in a row, I even wore it overnight 2 times, I realized that I love menstrual discs. I love them. I can't feel them the same way that I could feel a cup. Also, I think I said this before, but with a cup, it stays inside you via suction. And so when you go to remove it, you have to like bring your finger up and like break the suction against the vaginal canal walls, which can just be like uncomfortable, let alone the fact that it's moving out of place. And there's also that stem that's coming down, which is helpful to when you're trying to remove it, but I just don't like that feeling. I could always feel it inside of me, which I did not like. But with the disc, I tell you, I was utterly shocked. I was shocked. I've always hated internal period products. I cannot emphasize that enough. I've barely tolerated the cup, but this is like totally different. I truly could not feel it. The way that you insert it is, as you can see, I'm going to kind of hide behind it for a minute so that it can hopefully focus. Okay, there we go. So there's ridges on the sides, as you can see, and it's literally just like a cup. It's just going to collect the blood. It's not going to absorb anything. And the ridges help it to stay in place, tucked behind your pubic bone. So what you do is you need to fold it like this. I'll show it from the front. Not even folding it, actually. You literally just you just pinch it together like that. And what I do is I actually would need to face it like this. So I pinch the top together like that. And then I use my 2 fingers here, my index finger and my middle finger, to keep it pinched together like that. And then I'd reach around in the shower with one leg up and then one leg standing. It's also a good idea to just hold on to something like a grab bar or maybe a countertop or something like that. You want to be safe, obviously. But you're like this, and then I just, insert it, spreading the labia apart as well. And so just inserting it, and what you just do is once it kind of starts to get inside of you, like this, I guess, let's say, then I just kind of push it in, and it's, at this point, it's kind of going up the vaginal canal, right? It kind of ends up like that. But what you want to do is as you push it in with your middle finger, you're just going to kind of bring it up and tuck it behind the pubic bone, okay? If you don't know what I'm talking about when I say pubic bone, do some exploration, feel inside of your vaginal canal, and you'll realize there's a hard bone there, kind of above the vaginal canal. And I always had kind of trouble picturing where that was, but I assure you, once you insert this, it becomes very apparent exactly where it is. So again, you just tuck it behind, and then these little ridges help it to just like grip a little bit and to stay in place. But it's not suction. And so when you go to remove it, you literally, what I do is I just kind of like gently kind of like hook one side of it with my middle finger. I start to kind of like pull it down. And this is where you want to go slow and be careful and be mindful. You don't want to just pull it out and let it drop into the toilet like I did on the last day of my period. Thankfully, it was the lightest day. It was the last day before I started to spot where I wouldn't even need this anymore. So I was like, you know what? Okay, challenge accepted. What I did was I washed it thoroughly with soap and water, and then I boiled it in water for at least 5 minutes to sterilize it, okay? And so that's what you have to do, by the way, with either a cup or a disc. Any internal period product that's made out of platinum cured medical grade silicone, you need to boil this before and after your cycle. And by cycle, I specifically mean your menstruation or your period or your bleed. You need to sterilize it before you insert it in boiling water for 5 minutes at least, okay? And so once you insert it though, like I said, you cannot feel it. I was shocked. I was like floored. I never expected in my life. I expected my whole life to go on hating internal period products. I can't emphasize it enough. Oh my gosh, but I love this now. I love it because you know what? I can wear this confidently, especially after practicing with it for several days with this past period. I can confidently wear this without any period underwear now, without even a pad in place. Probably on my heaviest day, if I was going to be out and about, I might wear a period underwear or a pad as like backup. But if I'm just at home working from home or overnight sleeping, then I can just wear this by itself and feel completely confident. And so I'm just here to recommend this. The other thing that I want to note is that June Cup specifically, they make period care products that are very affordable. So this right now is available for $17 US. I can't think of a reputable period product brand that sells their products for a more affordable price. This is so accessible. And again, I caution you, or really I encourage you to not buy disposable menstrual discs, because why? You're gonna use them once and then they're gonna go into a landfill. I ask you why. So please consider using a reusable thing that you can buy once for about less than $20. And then you can have it for up to 5 years to come. This lasts 4 to 5 years with proper care. Obviously, you want to handle it gently. I would not recommend trying to like stretch this or anything like that. You don't want to like break it. And it's not that it's like delicate, but again, you just want to use reasonable care and caution to keep this in good tip-top shape, okay? So what you can do with these is, again, like I said, sterilize them before and after your bleed. If you're wondering, like, how do I know when my bleed's gonna start? Well, that's where fertility awareness charting comes into play, my friend, because when you do fertility awareness charting, you know exactly when to expect menstruation within typically like a day or two. And so it's a really great way to prevent period stains, to prevent potential accidents, because you'll know exactly when to expect menstruation. It won't be taking you by surprise. Your biomarkers will tell you when you can expect it to start, and you can know with a high level of accuracy that it's a very trustworthy way to predict menstruation. The other thing about inserting a disc versus a cup is that this is just so much easier. Like literally you just pinch it together. That's it. With a cup, even the mini cup that I had, you'd have to like fold it in a certain way, you'd have to try it another way, you'd have to insert it, spin it around to get it to unfold inside of you, and it just became, again, it was fine, it was tolerable, but I personally just wouldn't want to be doing it that way every cycle with every menstruation. So I love that this disc is different. It is a very similar idea to a menstrual cup, and in some ways, it's more of a menstrual bowl, but I just love this even more. The other thing with charting your cycle that I just love is with this disc, I indicate on my chart that I was using the disc. using either a little UFO emoji, because on Android in the Read Your Body app, it looks like a disc or like a cup, the UFO emoji. I also highly recommend using a CD emoji as a disc. You can use the Frisbee emoji as a disc. There's lots of choices for you to use. So anyway, guys, I highly recommend this. I really hope you'll check it out, specifically June Cup, because they're on a mission to provide really accessible, affordable care for periods to anyone. I love how inclusive they are. I love how affordable they are and accessible, and I highly recommend. If I ever lose this, if I ever break this, I will absolutely be reordering as soon as possible. And in fact, when I made this video, I tried to look on their website to see, like, do they do any kind of like an affiliate program? Is there any way that I could offer a discount to you or anything like that? And I don't believe they do. I didn't find anything on the website to indicate any kind of program, but honestly, because they're just so affordable anyway, I feel like you probably won't even need a discount. Although, of course, if you want to maybe watch their social media, they may do sales, you know, around holidays and stuff. So you can always check that out as well. So I highly recommend this. I hope that you'll check it out. Please let me know if you have absolutely any questions down below. If you have any particular experiences with menstrual discs, whether it be the June Cup or another menstrual disc, I would love to hear. If you have experienced a night and day shift like me, where I went from hating internal products to now loving the disc, please tell me, because I still feel shocked by this change and I am in awe. So having said that, I want to also just remind you and anyone listening that I am a certified fertility awareness educator. If you're looking for someone to help guide you to learn fertility awareness and to master it as quickly as possible, as confidently as possible, I am here to help you. I have an online course where I've worked with hundreds of clients so far to teach them how to use FAM for natural birth control. And of course, part of that, a huge part of that, probably half of that, is all about learning body literacy and self-care and health charting. So it's not just about using it for birth control, it's also really about understanding the physiology of your cycle, understanding your hormones, and little things that aren't really so little, like being able to accurately predict menstruation. So if that's interesting to you and you want to take those next steps, if you're serious about taking those next steps where you feel that you need guidance, please reach out to me and I'd love to meet with you. I have free meetings available. I'll put a link in the description down below and in the comment section as well. And if you want to reach out, I'd love to speak with you. I hope you guys have a great day or night whenever you watch this, and I'll see everyone very, very soon. Bye.